Welcome to Cal Cup Day. It pays to be Calbred. And they're off. A Walk on the Moon is out very quickly, but here's Western Grit headstrong, and Western Grit will duel in the opening furlong with Got My Prance On. Another 3, Stagger Lee gets a perfect spot in 3rd. Don't Hit Me Bash, Jetfire along the rail is in 5th. Here's Travel and Show in the red colors, tugging his way forward within 4 lengths of the lead. Then it's Uba Bakakeo, who's down on the inside, 2 lengths in front of A Walk on the Moon, who was just passed by No Show Jones, and a 3-wide Clubhouse Charlie. Around the far turn, Western Grit 2-length lead, Stagger Lee in pursuit 2nd, and so is Travel and Show inching up a closer 3rd, has 3 to make up. Don't Hit Me Bash is in 4th. Got My Prance On retreating. Then comes Jetfire in between horses. Outside of them, Uba Bakakeo, they're at the top of the stretch, and it's Western Grit maintaining a 2-length lead. Don't Hit Me Bash just having to alter course as Stagger Lee continues to progress. Center of the course, Uba Bakakeo is coming alive with big strides, and here comes Uba Bakakeo on the outside. Western Grit just in front of Stagger Lee. Stagger Lee surges to victory. Western Grit 2nd, Uba Bakakeo an oncoming 3rd. Then Don't Hit Me Bash and Travel and Show completes the super high 5. We're in the gate. And they're off. Divine Feminine, very quick, top of my game, never seen before. In between them, moves up to take 2nd. Oh, Great is on the far outside, and then it's oncoming going down toward the rail. Into the first turn, and top of my game is the leader. Opens up just about a length on Never Seen Before, and down at the rail, it's Divine Feminine 3rd, 2.5 or so off the leader. Followed by Oh Great in 4th. It's another 3 to Oncoming as they swing on to the backstretch behind Top of My Game, who leads by just about a length still, and Never Seen Before and In Hand tracking 2nd. They're followed by Oh Great, Divine Feminine, stride for stride just behind the top pair. Another 3 Oncoming has trailed throughout, heading to the half-mile pole. And it's Top of My Game, Flavian Pratt, 3 parts of a length, Never Seen Before, 2nd, a length and a half to Divine Feminine. Then it's Oh Great 4th, 3 lengths off the lead. Oncoming has been at the back every step of the way. Coming to the 3/8 pole, Top of My Game, a half length in front. Never Seen Before puts the pressure on now, and Never Seen Before is right up on even terms and puts his nostrils just in front. Top of My Game asked to respond. Divine Feminine swings out 3 deep, and they're followed by Oncoming taking 4th. Oh Great drops out there at the top of the stretch. Never Seen Before. Divine Feminine on the outside is coming gamely on the outside, and Divine Feminine is up to take the lead coming to the 16th pole. Never Seen Before, and Top of My Game, it will be Divine Feminine pulling away under Armando Ayuso to score by 3.5. Never Seen Before, Top of My Game, Oncoming. A dazzling pin of the Great Flight Line. Streak coming up at the red cap. They're off. Sugar Sugar in the center of the course is out for the early lead. On Purpose is right up alongside and now sprinting clear. So it's On Purpose, a length and a half to Dancing Dana in 2nd. Sugar Sugar, who broke on top, is now 3rd. Vulin out in the middle of the racetrack, followed by La Paloma Blanca. Then back on the street, racing between rivals. Down at the rail, Majestic Oops. And at the back, Court Snort. Half-mile left to run. On Purpose is the one to catch. Leads it by about 3/4 of a length. Dancing Dana, La Paloma Blanca is at the rail. Sugar Sugar and Vulin are 4th and 5th, followed by Majestic Oops, back on the street, and Court Snort. 8 lengths covers the field. On Purpose, Dancing Dana just a neck away second. Two more La Paloma Blanca, Sugar hard ridden in between horses as they come to the quarter pole. From the back of the field, Court Snort and Majestic Oops trying to make some headway. They turn for home. On Purpose and Dancing Dana. La Paloma Blanca, Court Snort continues to progress, looking for a spot, one from the outside and coming with a very dangerous bid. And here's Court Snort from last after On Purpose. On Purpose, Court Snort. Court Snort on the outside coming swiftly, and Court Snort from last to first. On Purpose second. Dancing Dana third in front of a battle between Majestic Oops and La Paloma Blanca. Party and happy birthday, Serge. For high five carries, $3,226. Wild Jewels completes the line. And they're off in the California Chrome Cal Cup Derby. And Stolen Treasure, Last Call London come out right together as one, and Wild Jewels is in third on the extreme outside. Mitzi's Express fourth in the early stages. Gentleman's Club at the back of the field. Juan Hernandez and Last Call London to set the pace, opening up about a length pretty easily with Stolen Treasure in a tracking spot second. Mitzi's Express is 2.5 or so off the lead, passed now by Wild Jewels, who's clearly into third, and Gentleman's Club at the back with 6 furlongs to run. Last Call London, taken strongly in hand, leads by 3/4 of a length to Stolen Treasure second. Two more Wild Jewels, green blinkers on the outside of Mitzi's Express, and Gentleman's Club is 5 lengths off the lead with 4.5 furlongs remaining. Last Call London continues to dictate the terms, with Stolen Treasure, his familiar rival, in second. Mitzi's Express about 3 off the lead now, pushed along, passed again by Wild Jewels, and Gentleman's Club outside of them. They have 3/8 of a mile to go in the California Chrome Cal Cup Derby. Last Call London has been there every step of the way. Stolen Treasure within a head second. 2 more lengths to Mitzi's Express. Now angling off the rail to try and come after the top pair. Wild Jewels is in fourth. They turn for home. Last Call London just in front. Stolen Treasure just a head back. And here's Mitzi's Express coming with a big run on the outside. Mitzi's Express and Stolen Treasure. Last Call London at the rail. It is Stolen Treasure with the lead at the 16th pole. Mitzi's Express set down by Umberto Rispoli. And Mitzi's Express pulls away to win the California Chrome Cal Cup Derby. Stolen Treasure second. Last Call London finished third. Here in the gate. And they're off in the Leanne Howard California Cup Oaks. Petite Filet is out alertly, so is Prancing Through Paris. Here's Recalcitrant and now Grand Slam Smile. So Recalcitrant and Grand Slam Smile now sprint clear by about 2 lengths. Prancing Through Paris is next. The Asada Fries in the green, and Our Sweet Candy is racing in between those two. Madison Ray tries to duck in and save some ground and is able to do so right behind Petite Filet. And Sushi Sticks is at the back of the field. It's Recalcitrant, the leader, narrowly, pressed by Grand Slam Smile. Asada Fries kept in the clear by Juan Hernandez third. Then comes Prancing Through Paris, 3.5 or 4 off the lead, and Our Sweet Candy is next. Petite Filet, Madison Ray are right together, and Sushi Sticks continues at the back. Grand Slam Smile takes the lead past the half-mile pole. Recalcitrant in second, 2 to Asada Fries third. Prancing Through Paris, Our Sweet Candy, Petite Filet down at the rail. Then it's Madison Ray and Sushi Sticks around the far turn, and it's Grand Slam Smile and Recalcitrant. These two have been going at it throughout. It's been a dream trip for Asada Fries, who cruises up to them 3 wide at the top of the stretch. And here's Asada Fries let loose, gets a little reminder at the top of the stretch. Asada Fries, recalcitrant. Grand Slam Smile is in between them. 3 back to Prancing Through Paris. And Grand Slam Smile has another gear and kicks clear at the 16th pole. Opening up 3, turning away Asada Fries and all the rest. Sushi Sticks on the scene late. Grand Slam Smile dominates the Leanne Howard California Cup Oaks. Battle for second, including Asada Fries, an oncoming Sushi Sticks. Madison Ray was in that battle as well with Prancing Through Paris. The late pick 4 starts here with no high 5 wagering. 23 minutes to post. Goins will be the last one to load. Is in. And they're off. Bags Gold and Minister Shane break very swiftly together. El Rey Dorado is in between them in the green silks. They're followed by Jamming Eddie in 4th. Another 3 back to Buck Owens and Fly the Sky. Down the backstretch, El Rey Dorado now takes over 3/4 of a length to the good of Bags Gold second. Then it's Minister Shane, joined by Jamming Eddie, who's kicking through along the inside all the way to take second. 4 back to Fly the Sky. And outside of him, it's Buck Owens. Less than a half mile to travel. And El Rey Dorado has been passed by Jamming Eddie. Jamming Eddie, the new leader at the 3/8 pole. El Rey Dorado ahead back second. Bags Gold right there in the thick of it, 3 deep in third. 3 more. Minister Shane is in 4th, followed by Buck Owens and Fly the Sky. They have a 1/4 of a mile to go. Bags Gold with a 3 wide bid after Jamming Eddie. El Rey Dorado. Jamming Eddie hugs the rail and goes on. 3 back to Minister Shane in 4th. Buck Owens trying to rally from behind. They're coming to the 16th pole. Jamming Eddie and Bags Gold. Jamming Eddie a half length. Now it's a length on Bags Gold. And Jamming Eddie, a huge performance under Giovanni Franco, wins it by 2. Bags Gold second. Minister Shane up for third in front of El Rey Dorado. Chancery Way walking up. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Sunshine Millions Filly and Mare Turf Sprint, presented by John Deere. And Chancery Way wastes no time going to the front. Unwritten Code moves clearly into second. Stay and Scam broke well, settles nicely in third. Madiha is down on the inside, and Tam's Little Angel 5th, 7 lengths off the leaders. They are followed by the 2 Roses, Rose Maddox and Rose Dawson, and Chismosa is at the back of the field, 10 lengths front to back, and it's Chancery Way down the hill in charge over Unwritten Code with less than a half mile to go. Madiha close up in third. Stay and Scam is just outside of her, and here's Rose Maddox traveling kindly at the rail 5th, just 3 lengths off the lead and moving up willingly. Chismosa is 3 wide on the outside of Tam's Little Angel, and Rose Dawson at the back. Chancery Way floats wide. Rose Maddox takes advantage and pounces coming to the 8th pole. Stay and Scam in the middle of the course. Rose Dawson coming through. Madiha's in some heavy traffic. A 16th to go. Rose Maddox, Chancery Way coming back, and Stay and Scam on the outside. Rose Maddox, Stay and Scam on the outside. Rose Maddox, Stay and Scam, Chancery Way. Rose Maddox, maybe by a nose. It's a 3-way close photo. Stay and Scam. Chancery Way was in that photo too. Chismosa was on the scene late. It's tight in the Sunshine Millions Filly and Mare Turf Sprint, presented by John Deere. The Don Valprado Cal Cup Sprint is next. Post time in 23 minutes. In the gate. And they're off in the Don Valprado Cal Cup sprint to a smooth beginning, and Brickyard Ride flashes that early zip and takes command at once. Moose Mitchell came away in good order, and so did the Chosen Vron down at the rail, now taking second. They're followed by Geezer in just a tad tight down at the rail, and 3 lengths off Brickyard Ride, who tries to shake loose. Principe Carlo is at the back of the field. There's a half-mile left to go, and it's Brickyard Ride leading it by 2 lengths. Moose Mitchell, the Chosen Vron, stride for stride, second and third. Just behind them, Principe Carlo, 3 lengths off the lead. Geezer at the back of a compact field. Brickyard Ride will take them to the quarter pole, cruising along with a 2-length advantage. Moose Mitchell second most of the way. The Chosen Vron down at the rail needs to get going from there as Brickyard Ride turns for home with a 2-length lead. The Chosen Vron now angles out, and these two hook up at the 8th pole. Brickyard Ride, the Chosen Vron, though, just ambles up to him, and the Chosen Vron, simply invincible, as he will cruise once again. He's now 15 for 20. What an amazing gelding the Chosen Vron is. Brickyard Ride second. Geezer finished third. The running time, a crisp 109 flat. "21 minutes to post for race 9. The Royal and Rando. And they're off in the Unusual Heat Turf Classic presented by City National Bank. And it's Kings River Knight and Bally's Charm as expected. They both flash plenty of early zip. Passerendo is up close too, and Catalina Eddy not far behind, about 2.5 off the leaders. Silent Heat will be 5th in the opening furlongs. None Above the Law is the gray on the inside of Magallan Rim. Then Carmelita's Man, who's toward the back of the field, racing about 2.5 or 3 lengths in front of Allegato. The early trailer is Royal and Rando, and Kings River Knight asserts himself with 6 furlongs to run and opens up 2. Passerando is in second, Catalina Eddy third. Hector Barrios has Bally's Charm off the pace in fourth with 4 lengths to make up. Then Silent Heat and None Above the Law. Carmelita's Man is just behind that pair. They're followed by Magallan Rim, Allegato, and Ford Royal and Rando. They head past the half-mile pole with Kings River Knight gliding along by a length over Passerando in second as they take a little closer order. Catalina Eddy making an early bid on the outside. He now moves a joint second outside of Passerando, and Bally's Charm hugs the rail in fourth, just about 2.5 or so off the lead. Carmelita's Man is wide outside Silent Heat. None Above the Law needs racing room. Allegato in the white is starting to launch his bid. He's coming to the far outside as they turn for home. Kings River Knight has a 2-length lead. Bally's Charm comes to try and run him down. None Above the Law along the inside. Allegato in the center of the course with Carmelita's Man also finishing very strongly. Here's Carmelita's Man after Kings River Knight. Kings River Knight, Carmelita's Man, Kings River Knight. All the way in the Unusual Heat Turf Classic presented by City National Bank. A photo between Carmelita's Man and Allegato. Juan Hernandez now a perfect 5 for 5 aboard Kings River Knight.
Hi, everybody, and a very happy and pleasant Sunday to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining us. What about yesterday, Cal Cup Day? That was a huge hit, wasn't it? The Chosen Vron, Kings River Road, amongst other winners on yesterday's card. And a gentleman sitting next to me is infatuated with Calbreds. That's because he goes to all the auctions around the country and tries to find successful racehorses and primarily take advantage of the Calbred program. His name, Larry Zapp. Larry, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Glad to be here, Tom. And yeah, Calbreds were in fashion yesterday. And the Chosen Vron, you have to start there.
Of course.
I mean,
he's a cool horse, right? He's the definition of a cool horse.
He is such a cool horse. But, you know, this story goes deep because I used to buy horses with Eric Kruljac.
You did,
so
I remember.
He's like family to me.
Was it Bulls Bay, something like that?
And we bought Leave Me Alone, a Calbred that went to Saratoga and won the test by 8 lengths.
Grade 1 test.
It was grade 1 test. First time Eric ever went. I didn't happen to go, but that was something. Bulls Bay was one of them. But I'm a big fan of Kruljac. And Vronsky has been a solid California sire, but Eric Kruljac bought the mother, bought the dam. So it comes from the dam, the athleticism, and you hook it up with Vronsky, who you remember Steve Taub, I think, brought in from Europe.
Yes.
He was a decent horse, but he's been a very solid Cal sire. Carla Gaines has the good filly. That was Closing remarks, multiple grade 2 winner, I think, last year. And Vronsky's just been around, and he's an amazing sire, but this horse is amazing. The consistency, Tom.
Yes.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
Well, what about consistency with Kings River Road? Winning the nightcap yesterday, you look up and down his form. All he does, like the Chosen Vron, is win races.
You know, they ran against each other and they were nose apart down the hill. I forget which race it was. Excuse me, but we just had baby steps.
At Gulfstream Park.
We just had baby steps at Gulfstream Park. Put away 2 speed horses, open up 2, and have Christophe Clement and Irad Ortiz.
Literally minutes and seconds before we came on air.
Yeah, I ran in here and now I need a shower. But that's what racing does to you. If you don't get excited, did you see the winner's circles yesterday? The Old English Rancho in the last race. It's a mob scene. And the Chosen Vron, anybody who's ever met Eric Kruljac wants part of this horse because he's like there'll be races named after him. There might be a movie. He's a modern day Seabiscuit. Eric Kruljac told me 2 years ago, I'm going to manage him properly. He is going to be my, what did he say? John Henry. He said John Henry. He's my John Henry, and I'm not going to mess it up. And he hasn't messed it up.
And we're talking about the Calbred program just in general, Larry, and we know that Terry Lovinger and Pete Perel and others really support the game. Little Birdie whispered in my ear yesterday because there were a lot of people affiliated with the CTBA program and other people affiliated with Cal Breeding. They've gone to Kentucky and bought some very, very nice mares to bring back to California and breed, even though the atmosphere here is maybe not conducive to one that would normally do that.
Terry Lovinger is an innovator, and he does buy good mares. He was the first guy to buy a bunch of Tappet mares out of his first crop when he stood for like $10,000. Then the guy brings in Stay Thirsty, who is Mike Rapoli still has a piece of. And Stay Thirsty was a solid sire lost in Kentucky. Brings him here, and what has he done in a couple of years?
One of the most prolific sires
on the dirt, especially. He's totally dominating. And then Adrian Gonzalez, who sells a lot of horses at Checkmate Thoroughbreds, he masterminds bringing Sir Prancelot, who had tremendous success on the firm turf in California. Nick Casado, I remember, had that one filly, and he saw an opportunity and seized it, and it brought Sir Prancelot here. And look what Craig Lewis has done with Clubhouse Ride.
Yes,
it's never been better in California, in my opinion. The breeding program's becoming almost world class.
Speaking of world class, we're going to find out who Larry Zapp likes on today's 9-race card. But before we do any of that, we're going to let him cool off a little bit and also toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the minimal changes on today's Sunday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. Track is fast, turf is firm, rail on the turf at 10 feet. Here are the changes. First race starts the early pick 5, number 6, Beautiful Janet. Jockey change to Frankie Dettori. Joel Rosario will not be riding today. In the second, start of the early pick 4, no changes. Blinker note in the third. In the fourth, number 2, Screaming Virginia will carry 1 pound over. Fourth race starts to pick 6. In the fifth race, we start the all-turf pick 3, $3 wager, races 5, 7, and 9. Also the start of the late pick 5, just the blinker note. No changes in the sixth, beginning of the late pick 4. In the seventh, scratch 1, Free and Humble. Number 1 has been scratched. 7, Wakanaka, make the jockey Umberto Rispoli. And number 12 draws in and will run. Seventh race is the Las Cienegas. Eighth race kicks off the golden hour pick 4. 2, Thirsty Love, the jockey Frankie Dettori. And in the ninth race, start of the golden hour double, number 9, Into It, make the jockey Juan Hernandez. Those are the changes for today's card. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. I'll be at the gate for the opener in 58 minutes at 12:30. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner in the studio. Tom's guest today is Larry Zapp.
Welcome back. We're talking horse with Larry Zapp. He's an equine scout that goes to all the sales all around the country. You can also find him almost here on a daily basis when he's not traveling, attending the races here in Southern California. Looking at that scenic shot before we came back on air, Larry, you're a New York transplant. I'm a Chicago transplant. We're sure happy that we're here during the wintertime at Santa Anita. It's one of the attractions that drew me here was not only the weather, but the beauty of Santa Anita. I know you never get tired of this place.
Never get tired of it. First time walking through the tunnel and seeing those mountains on a clear day was the first time, and it just rained. And guy I worked under, Tom Wafer, who still I think has a piece of a few horses, owned a horse, and I get a tip of 2 days out, and I had to leave work early and show up at Santa Anita, and the horse, I think its name was Let's Drink Dinner. So something like that. And it was bet in half, and it won like it should have been 2-1. It was 7-1. But seeing those mountains, getting to go in the winner's circle right away, and I've been in love with this place. Vladimir Serin says Lawrence of Arcadia all the time to me.
It's intoxicating, that's for sure. If you haven't been out to Santa Anita lately, definitely come visit us. You'll have fun, that's for sure. Larry, we're going to go through today's 9-race card, kicking things off here in race number 1, which begins the 50-cent early pick 5. The conditions for race 1 are the same as race number 5, so they're split races of each other. And the conditions are 6 furlongs in the turf course for maiden special weight Calbred, 3-year-old fillies. The rails today are at 10 feet. There is one jockey change. Beautiful Janet now being ridden by Frankie Dettori. Field of 8, morning line favorite in the current betting choice is number 4, Run a Mile in My Shoes from the Jeff Mullins barn, 9-5 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, you wanted to show a workout for a first-time starter, and that would be number 7, Jane Kende, a first-time starter, as I mentioned, from the Phil D'Amato barn. This is a team drill on January 8th of this year that we're going to watch courtesy of our friends at XBTV. It's going to be out of the gate. You wanted to show this. You can see the time is good, Larry, 47 and change. Why'd you want to show it?
Well, I'm cheating a little because both these horses are running today, and they're in separate divisions of what you just said, the first and the fifth race. And I thought they just both showed what I would call handiness. You know, they just looked like a couple of athletic fillies. And I just think they did it easy. They look ready to run. And Phil D'Amato, he's not known for his first-time starters, per se, but I think he knows how to get a horse ready. And what about these names that Nick Alexander keeps coming up with?
I actually Googled it. Jane Kende was the very first flight nurse. She worked during the Iwo Jima times. And so, you know, Nick Alexander, as you mentioned, is very creative in terms of naming his runners. And these first-time starters, what about Bronco Nagurski the other day, coming off the layoff for trainer for trainer Steve Miotti, was a first-time gelding straight into the winner's circle. This one trained by Phil D'Amato. But 4 furlongs, both were very brilliant. Like you said, both showed speed, both were very handy.
They had a lot of horses, and my top pick's going to be the 7, Jane Kende. Is that how you pronounce it? Do you remember the mother of this horse, the damn Ash White Sky? Do you know what she did first time out, Tom?
I know that she loved the hill, but tell me what she did first time out.
She won the evening jewel in a stake race by 5, first time out at like 6-1.
A little precocity there, right?
You think Nick might have cashed a gamble? Nick can't say no to a gamble either, I'm assuming. But no, I mean, the pedigree's there. Canteros, we don't see
many Calbreds.
We don't see many Calbreds. And what Canteros was 3 for 3 undefeated, and he knew how to win first time out. So the lineage says first time out, that work says this horse is going to have some speed. And there's no doubt the 4-horse, Run a Mile in My Shoes, who was second to Prancing Through Paris, which is a horse I helped breed for my clients. And we ran 4th yesterday in the Leanne Howard Cow Cup Oaks, I think it's called. So this horse was well meant first time out. They bet him. She's going to be the horse to beat here. But let's go with a little better price. Number 7, Jane Condé. Maybe she'll emulate her mother. She gets Flavien Prat. That's not a bad thing. She draws nice outside. So I'll go 7-4 in the opener.
And Jane Condé currently on the top board sitting at 5-1. Certainly a nice price, being trained by Phil D'Amato and ridden by Flavien Prat. Race number 2, Larry, begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we're sprinting down the main track. 6 furlongs the distance. Maiden claiming Calbreds, $50,000 is the claiming tag. A field of 5. The bottom horse, number 5, Finally and Eddie, is a first-time gelding, but the morning line favoritism falls to number 2, John Dunbar from the Nick Alexander barn. 4-5 on the morning line. I didn't Google this name, but I'm sure it's someone important in history. Talk to us about race 2, Larry.
I didn't Google it either. John Dunbar, just off its 2 races, is the horse to beat here. It's not going to be too creative, but Steve Miotti's got 2 horses. And how many times, Tom, do we see this scenario where a trainer's got 2 horses in the race? And, this is a horse after running for maiden 20 at Los Alamitos. Miotti bumps it up and puts it in for 50 today and puts a gate work in the horse. And I don't think the horse broke that cleanly. And my guess is he thinks this horse has a lot more speed. So maybe the gate work since ran is a good indicator that we're going to see some speed out of this horse today. And I just think these 2 horses are going to control the pace. Big Drinker looks like a closer to me. Finally, and Eddie, did he just get gelded?
Yes, he is. He's a first-time gelding.
He's a first-time gelding, and I kind of wrestled with that. You see the price, but Redham retained the horse. So they, at the sales, people put a big, sometimes, reserve on a horse. I'm going to let Finally and Eddie beat me, I guess, here. But with 2 choices, I'm going to stick to Steve Miotti. And if John Dunbar doesn't get the job done, maybe Get 'em Dusty will get the job done at a nice price. 2-1 for me in race number 2.
Race number 3, we're back sprinting on the flat turf course. 6.5 furlongs the distance for maiden special weight fillies and mares. A field of 7. You run 4 runners on today's card, Larry, and 2 of them appear in this race. Number 2, Collectively, and number 7, Make It Snow, are both partially owned by California Racing Partners, which you're a big part of. And the morning line favorite is the runner returning off a long layoff. Will cost $1 million. $1 million son, I should say daughter, of American Pharaoh. Number 3, Muteki, who's 5-2 on the morning line. 1 of 2 trained in here by Bob Baffert. Let's talk about race 3 and who do you like and why?
Well, I'm going to be a homer here with my 2 horses, but Muteki scares me a little. But there are some reports about this horse training really well, but also making some noise. Mm-hmm. And do they have the problem fixed? Because without a throat, I don't care how beautiful of a horse and how well bred you are, it's going to be tough to make it.
Comes down to breathing, doesn't it?
I think it does. Breathing is good, but breathing might be even better, because we're all trying to make some money today. Collectively, for us, is a horse that you see we kind of try to take advantage of a few situations. We started her off in Florida, then we went to Woodbine because she's an Ontario bred, and by the end of that Woodbine campaign, she came back a little. We brought her to California. She's a little banged up, and we had to give her a lot of time.
She ran great, though. 3 starts, 3 seconds.
To some good, and she's run against some decent horses. I've kind of followed all of them. She's got speed, and she's never run on grass. She's run on synthetic and dirt, and I really think grass is going to be her best situation. Ryan Hansen has had her ready. There hasn't been a filly and mare turf sprint in quite a while, because we've been trying to get Make It Snow, our other filly, and Collectively in for about 2 months now. So we're just glad the race went. I'm hoping we're better than Baffert. Collectively's fresh off the layoff. I think Ryan's got her really tight. Flavien Prat we drew, so let's stick with Flavien Prat again. Make It Snow's the horse to beat for me. She's very consistent, and when she sprints on the turf, she runs her race every time. We were forced to run her on the dirt last time because the lack of races for her division. So I'm going 2-7. hoping to go to the winner's circle, Tom.
Number 7, Make It Snow, Larry, has had 7 chances in her lifetime so far. But I actually played her in the stakes race coming down the hill on October 1st, and she actually ran pretty well, only beaten by 5 lengths or so by Ruby Nell, who obviously has gone on to do bigger and better things for the Richard Mandela barn. She's dangerous, drawn outside, and like you said, collectively has a good string of really nice races with a nice improving by her speed figure pattern. It looks like you got 2 live runners in race number 3, Larry. Let's turn the page, take a look at race number 4. Begins the $1 pick 6. This is starter optional claiming race for 3-year-old fillies and a field of 5. Here's another runner you own, number 3, Walk Don't Run, again trained by Ryan Hansen. 3-1, third choice on the morning line. The morning line favorite is number 4, Dial a Friend, who was very impressive in victory in her debut at 8-5 on the morning line. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Larry, let's watch the replay of Walk Don't Run's last race. That was back on December 16th. It was the 8th race at Los Alamitos. Walk Don't Run is going to break from post position number 5. At Los Alamitos, they show the head on the brake, so you're going to be able to see that Walk Don't Run gets pinched very severely at the start and then makes a really nice rally to finish second. Let's listen to Michael Rona, track announcer Michael Rona, describe the action for Walk Don't Run's last race.
Point covering numbers 2, 3, and 5. Racing, Catalea wins the start from the outside, quickly challenged by Bella Vienna, who will head to the front. Unified AP close handy along the rail, with a couple of lengths to Bossy Bruin Gal in front of Miss Pixie Sticks, and wider out Walk Don't Run, beginning to improve, but off the pace early. It's Bella Vienna in front, flanked by Unified AP and Catalea. No serious speed about. Walk Don't Run circles to 4th, followed by Bossy Bruin Gal and last Miss Pixie Sticks. 3/8 of a mile to go. Bella Vienna and Catalea stride for stride. Walk Don't Run sliding forward to make a line of 3 and a length to Miss Pixie Sticks, circumnavigating the field while Unified AP stays at the fence. And Bossy Bruin Gal's getting a hole about 3 wide and about to challenge. As they're across the track at the 3/16s, Bella Vienna taken on by Bossy Bruin Gal. Walk Don't Runners there. Miss Pixie Sticks the widest. Catalea weakens. It's Bossy Bruin Gal headed by Walk Don't Run. Miss Pixie Sticks. Bossy Bruin Gal kicking again. Bossy Bruin Gal, too good, has come back to win from Walk Don't Run by a half length with a similar margin to Miss Pixie Sticks third.
Larry, Walk Don't Run in the Royal Blue and Gold 6, certainly Gold Silks, I should say, certainly ran well after being pinched at the start. This daughter of Run Happy now. You protect her, you had Lasix, you stretch her out as well. How's she doing, and is she your top pick in the race?
Well, she's my top pick in the race because the way she broke and the way Tiago that day rode her, and he had to use her a little to get position, and she was in position going wide every step of the way. I figure if she can put it all together, and she's broken slow even in the stake we ran her up north the last few times, she's capable of breaking much better. Ryan Hansen has been working with her at the gate, and if she breaks, I think that'll give her her best chance. I'm picking her over the 4 Dial a Friend. This is a filly that I almost bought her as a yearling. I vetted her out. I went to look at her, inspected her before bidding on her that afternoon. And when she's walking at me, she's got an offset knee, and an offset knee kind of scares me for longevity with a thoroughbred. And I overthought the situation and I let somebody else have her. And then she showed up at a 2-year-old sale and I looked at her again and I'm like, well, I'm not going to pay more for her because I passed on her the first time. So Peter Miller gets her. He puts her in for the low price. And I was talking to some clients about claiming her that day. And they were like asking me, why didn't you buy her in the first place? And I said, well, she had this offset knee. And I'm like, okay, we're not buying her. And then she runs that race.
Wins by 10.
Wins by 10. Didn't beat much that day, but she won impressively. And I believe that makes her the horse to beat. But I'm going to go with our horse only because I'm a homer, and I think we are going to improve and put it all together. We got Tyler Bays, who I think's riding really good right now, and he's trying real hard to get back on top. I'm going to go 3-4 in the short field, race number 4.
Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. It also begins a $3 all-turf pick 3, comprising the final 3 races every day here at Santa Anita. And as mentioned before, race 5 is a split of race number 1. It's 6 furlongs in the turf course. Maiden special weight Calbred, 3-year-old fillies, a field of 7. Number 2, Lady Montclair, putting the blinkers on, putting the Lasix on, going from a route to a sprint, is a 3-1 morning line choice, trained by Richie Baltus, who's back on the scene. Talk to us about race 5, Larry.
Well, race 5. Are we going to show that race of the one horse?
We are, as a matter of fact. I'm glad you brought that up.
Girl
Let's actually
Can't
go to
Help
that.
It.
Yeah, Girl Can't Help It. Let's kind of set the scene for Girl Can't Help It. Debuted in a maiden 50, sprinting 6 furlongs at Del Mar back on November 19th. And what you're going to see is she breaks very slowly from post position number 3 and puts in a really good rally. She was bet down to 9-1 in a field of 8. She actually made Brad Freeze horses to watch as well. So let's listen to Larry Coleman describe the action back on November 19th when Girl Can't Help It breaks from post position number 3 and blows the start.
They're off. Slow start for Girl Can't Help It. Also not a good beginning for Hot Dancing. A very good start for Envisioned from that outside post. She's able to clear and get to the rail on top by a length. Hot Dancing is now rushing through on the inside. She found some running room and now grabs the front after a bit of a tardy start. Then look at her glide and Cocktail Cutie. Break of 2 back to Mumbles Brockman. Then it's Love Me Like a Fool, Senora Victoria, and a long way last is Girl Can't Help It. 22.56 was that first quarter mile. And as they move into the far turn, Hot Dancing is the leader. Envisioned is a length and a half behind. It's 3 lengths more back to Cocktail Cutie, running in third of the inside, and Look at Her Glide is fourth. Mumbles Brockman is next. Then comes Senora Victoria, followed by Girl Can't Help It and Love Me Like a Fool, and they're into the stretch. Hot Dancing off the turn, Envisioned and Cocktail Cutie trying to close the gap now, and Cocktail Cutie is coming up on the outside and takes over. Cocktail Cutie and Mario Gutierrez pulling away, opening up with each and every stride. They're going to win easily. The race is for second, and it's going to be...
Larry, as we mentioned, Girl Can't Help It blew the break and actually wound up finishing a decent third, considering how much ground she lost breaking from the gate. Now she has Lasix. Now she goes on turf for the first time. I have a feeling you like that that debut effort.
I did like it. I like that she passed horses on the dirt, which we know at Santa Anita is not the easiest thing to do, and she passed a lot of horses. I think the race will do her good. I liked Frosted as a sire. He was this, he won the Met Mile like by 15,
Super
and
impressive.
he went to stud, and everybody was high on him, and he didn't have a great first couple of crops, less than expected by the breeders, and they all jumped off of him, and as soon as they did, he started having a bunch of winners, and I kind of been following the Frosteds, and they like Tappet, his sire. They like both any surface, really, synthetic, dirt, turf, doesn't matter. I don't like the rail, Tom, going 6 on the turf, but I'm going to get a price. I mean, even with people seeing that, they'll throw it in their pick 5s, but I think we'll get a square price. And I'm just in a card that I didn't see a lot of value. I'm just looking for a square price. So I'm going to go with the one horse, Girl Can't Help It. And we watched the Wishes to Riches team drill from the gate earlier. And, drew good, just like her stablemate. She's bred to win early out of a Tis Wonderful mare. I think he's a wonderful broodmare sire. He didn't stand that long, but he throws a lot of size and substance. And I was really impressed with the gate work on this horse. I think she's the horse to beat. The rest of them really didn't do much for me. I mean, a lot of these common races didn't do much for me, and I know I'm taking the filly that's going up in class, but she's going to a new surface and the price will be there at 8-1. So let's go with the 1-7 race number 5, and this is that split end, the second division of this turf maiden special weights.
Inside and outside for Larry Zapp in race number 5, 1 and 7 in that order. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. This is the abbreviated sprint distance of 5.5 furlongs for maiden claiming Calbred 3-year-old fillies in for a $50,000 tag. A field of 5. And here's again the California Racing Partners with an entrant. Number 1, Big Rainbow, who's the 6-5 morning line favorite. You've had some chances along the line, but take a look at who you finished second to last time out. A runner who appears in race number 4 today, who you're competing against. Big Rainbow certainly loves the rail. This is the fourth consecutive time she drew the rail position. All systems go today, Larry?
We paid $3,000 for her, and I'll tell you what, Krikorian, who owns the stallion, Mr. Big, was getting. I think he's concentrating more on his Kentucky breeding operation. He was just getting rid of, because he still has the breeding. He makes the money on the breeder's end, and we bought this filly, and I didn't know what to expect of her, but she's an overachiever as far as I'm concerned. People go, well, she's hanging all the time, and she's well bet most of the time, and she's not winning. I go, she's right there every time. She might have caught finally the right field, but of course we have to deal with the dreaded rail. And so I think Tyler Bays is the right guy for the job. Do you know this is the 4th time in a row she's breaking from the rail, Tom?
I sure do.
I just hope this is her field. I mean, she's consistent. sometimes you don't even want to win a race like this. You want to run second and keep the condition because, then you have to realize where you go against winners.
Keep collecting checks, right?
Unless keep collecting checks. But I think this filly's getting better. I think inching slowly, and I think Tyler got to know her last time, and I'm hoping the combination gets the job done today. And I'm going to pay a lot of attention because so far it's paid off a little bit for these Northern California shippers, and Ed Mulger is bringing horses down here and stay up the 5-horse. I watched a lot of its Golden Gate races, and here's a horse in its last race who actually ran deceptively well, passing horses in the lane. I think this is a little drop in class, and I think if this horse, to stay thirsty, they're supposed to like dirt more than synthetic. So I just fell on her as the other horse. It's going to be 1-5 for me in race number 6.
It's interesting, Larry. In race number 6, we've only got a field of 5, but this is what makes all the multi-race sequence bets so tricky, is because you just don't know what's going to happen. One race doesn't make a career. You could make a case for maybe Dixie Blaze, Smiling Widow, even Panda Peak off the long laugh. Very, very difficult race. Even the dropper, as Larry was talking about, from Northern California, number 5, Stay Up. It's going to be an interesting race to not only watch, but also wager on, and maybe pay extra attention in the paddock, because maybe there'll be some tell signs that you can pick up in the paddock. Race number 7 is our feature race on the card. It's the Grade 3 La Cienega Stakes. $100,000 guaranteed for fillies and mares coming down the Hillside Turf Course. One scratch. Scratch the one. That means number 12, A Day in Asia, does draw into the race. The morning line favorite is number 9, Elm Drive, owned by Little Red Feather, who also owns the runner right inside of her, number 8, Benedict Canyon. But Elm Drive is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Phil D'Amato looks loaded for bear, but the contention runs deep here, Larry.
Yeah, it actually does. And my good buddy, who I've done a lot of good with over the years, and we're still doing business together, Peter Erden, he has a filly that I think is just getting better and better and better, and that's the 5-horse Kissed by Fire. She's 8-1 in the morning line with Mike Smith. I don't see her going off that high, but I would love to lock it in right now. It's how she's been winning her races. She'll take heat from anybody, and she'll be strong in the lane. And when she ran 6 furlongs here, 2 back, I thought she had a lot left in the tank. So I think 6.5 down the hill will be right between her eyes, and she'll be running through the wire. And the price is just too good for me to pass up. She's owned by a lot of strong owners, the Commonwealth Thoroughbred Group out of Kentucky and the X-Line Border Group. I wish them luck, but I'm wishing anybody who bets on her luck that we get something like 8-1 today. And Elm Drive is the horse to beat. She had a tough beat Breeders' Cup morning. I was in that race and ran 3rd with Brandon's my lawyer, and I just think she's the horse to beat. Now, I'm leaving off the 7-horse Wakanaka, a new horse in Michael McCarthy's barn. But for me, it's I've got to go 5-9.
Fair enough. Let's take a look at race number 8, Larry. It begins the $1 golden hour pick 4. We're going 1 mile on the main track for maiden claiming. 3-year-olds, $32,000 is the claiming tag. We've got a field of 8 here, and number 4, Bear Coast, is a first-time gelding. Also take note that Frankie Dettori rides number 2, Thirsty Love. Joel Rosario not riding today. Not sure if it's a coincidence or not, but Joel Rosario celebrates his 39th birthday today. Happy birthday, Joel. Hope you're feeling well. Morning line favorite is number 6, Midnight Love, from the Hector Palma barn, ridden by Antonio Fresu, 2-1 on the morning line. Once again, a number of runners in here, Larry, adding Lasix, a lot of lightly raced horses as well, some well-bred horses. Really, really difficult race to kick off the $1 golden hour pick 4 sequence with.
Tom, this is an impossible race.
I'm glad you agree with me.
I put more time into this race only to be more confused. You had a paralysis by overanalysis.
Absolutely.
It's right there. But you know what? I'm going to trust one thing. Bob Hess Jr. off the claim. He's very good. Whoever, if it's him or somebody helping him, but he makes a lot of astute claims, and the fact that he claimed this horse for 32 was based on its race before, and the pedigree. Stay Thirsties can go 2 turns. They like dirt. I just went with this horse because I liked its race 2 back. I'm going to excuse its last race because it was on the rail that day, and horses get intimidated on the rail, and you can't really leave out the 6-horse Midnight Love for Hector Palmer. I mean, Midnight Lute out of a Dixie Union mare should be able to stretch it out. And this horse has been very consistent in most of its races when they properly spot the horse. And this looks like the horse to beat and the horse's level. But those are the 2 I fell on. Not real confident in just using 2 in this race. It might be a blow-up race on a horse you really can't handicap, but You want 2 horses? I'm giving you 2 horses. 2-6 for me in race number 8.
And it's interesting, Larry, you talked about Bob Hess, how efficient he is off the claim. And it sure looked like he had a plan in mind when he claims Thirsty Love. What does he do? He first off the claim goes 2 turns. So he thinks in his mind and in the owner's minds that maybe this 2-year-old gelding does want 2 turns. And the race you mentioned, 2 back, that you were impressed with, not only was this gelding well clear of the 3rd place finisher, but that winner that day was a maiden special weight dropper. Again, I have a feeling that's why Bob Hess dipped into the claim box and took her last time out. But again, a very, very difficult race. Don't be deceived by these small running lines thinking that it might be an easy race to handicap. I have a feeling we might see some big prices today. We close out the day in race number 9, but we don't close out the week of racing. That's because we have special racing tomorrow, Monday, Martin Luther King Day, a good 9-race card starting at 12:30 p.m. But first things first, race number 9 today, the nightcap starts the $5 Golden Hour daily double wagering. Similar concept, last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. Mile and an eighth on the turf course for $25,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Make Juan Hernandez the jockey on number 9 into it. We've got a field of 10, the morning line favorite right inside number 8, 34 Coupe from the George Papadromo barn. 34 Coupe always looks like he's going to win a race, but somehow he always falls short. Is today the day?
In my betting, I'm using them, but with the 2 horses you give me to give, Mile and Eighth might be too far for him. He doesn't look like a horse looking for more distance. And I'm telling you, this non-winners 2, we talked about race 8. This is a race that should be called, nobody in here really wants to win its second lifetime race.
He'll win by default.
It's going to be a win by default. And a horse that's always looked healthy to me, and I'm outside the paddock like you are, as many times as we can be there analyzing and looking at these horses. And a horse that keeps striking, it's not a big horse. And he ran in stakes early in his life, but a horse that always looks healthy and uses himself really well is the 4-horse, Worst Reed Sanchez. And he's a pretty deep closer. If you watch his last race, he kind of got stuck inside and he was trying to get through, and he finally got through and he had run. And maybe a mile and eighth is what he wants. Maybe when you don't see a ton of pace in a race is when there's more pace than you can ever imagine. I'm just hoping he can possibly make the last run. And if he doesn't make the last run, I think Tim Yakteen just claiming the 2-horse Numero D, if that's how we're supposed to say it. I think this horse has one way to go, and that's to make the final run. He got claimed by a Sharp owner, George Sharp. Get that? Sharp.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. And Tim Yakteen actually is very good in these type of scenarios. I have no clue who's going to win this race, Tom, but I went for the price with the 4-horse Worst Reed Sanchez. He's a healthy 8-1 on the line, and Numero D, the 2-horse. 4-2 for me, and another, what I think, very difficult race to handicap.
A couple of additional comments about your top selection, Larry. Number 4, Worst Reed Sanchez. He's a foal to both Jam and Eddie, who earned $320,000 in his career, and Eddie's New Dream, who earned $580,000. So certainly the breeding is there for him to be a nice horse. He's only 1 for 22 lifetime, but that one victory did occur on the San Diego turf course. And take a look at the jockey. I can't recall the last time that Mario Gutierrez didn't ride a horse for Mr. Redham, and Tony Fresu picks up the mount today. We'll see if that's meaningful or not. And Larry, before we sign off for the day, I just wanted to revisit your conversation that you just spoke about being in the paddock as much as possible to look at horses. You look at horses on tape, you look at them in the flesh, you're at the auctions, you're in the paddock. Maybe for the novice who doesn't know what they're looking at, what are 1 or 2 things you kind of look at in general, realizing that different horses have different tendencies?
Well, I think body language of a horse is so important. I mean, you want to look at a horse that you could look them right in the eye when they go by you and look for confidence. And then you can look for just a strut on a horse, you know, just the way a horse is presenting itself that day.
The confidence it's
showing.
You
don't want a nervous horse. You want a confident horse, but you end up, like you and I both know, getting to know these horses. If you keep seeing the same horse, you might see some changes. And I just think a novice that goes in the paddock, and listen, I listen to the 4-year-old girls outside the paddock because they pick more winners than anybody.
Yes.
They just have a instinct.
They're
to
horse
it.
women.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I think you can really learn a lot. And what you do is after you look at them, make notes on who ran well, and maybe you saw something, and look for a similar something the next time you go to the paddock and pick winners. That's how you learn.
I say it's like shooting free throws or shooting pool. The more you do it, the better you're going to become at it, right?
Absolutely.
Even if you're not used to looking at horse flesh, the more repetitive, it's the old thing. Do it 10,000 times and suddenly you're an expert.
And new people who come to the track, I try to get them to the paddock all the time, inside or outside the paddock, because they learn, they look, and they get their own opinion. And creating your own opinion is part of just throw all my horses out today and beat me. That's fine. But to have an opinion, it's fun to have an opinion, Tom.
Larry doesn't lack confidence, that's for sure. You saw that on display over the last 40 minutes or so. Larry, thanks so much for your time and insight today. Good luck not only with your runners today, but with all your future runners that you find at sales down the road. Appreciate you being here as well. Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate all of you watching as well. Next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati updating us with any late changes. Make sure you have fun today, everybody. Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track is fast and the turf is firm. The rail on the turf out 10 feet. Here are the changes. Nothing new to report. Actually, there is one new update. There's a jockey change that we didn't give you at 11:30. In the first, number 6, Beautiful Janet, the jockey Frankie Dettori. Joel Rosario will not be riding today. No changes in race 2. Equipment changes in race 3. Here's the new jockey change in race 4. Number 2, Screaming Virginia, the jockey Adrian Escobedo. Adrian Escobedo rides number 2 in race 4, which starts the pick 6, no overweight. 5th starts the all-turf pick 3, races 5, 7, and 9. Also the 50-cent late pick 5. The 6th, there are no changes. Late pick 4 begins. The 7th, the grade 3 Las Ciénegas, scratch number 1, Free and Humble. Note that number 7, Wakanaga, now ridden by Umberto Rispoli. Number 12 draws in and runs. The 8th is the start of the Golden Hour pick 4. Number 2, Thirsty Love, the jockey Frankie Dettori. And in the 9th, number 9, Into It, Make the Rider, Juan Hernandez. Golden Hour double starts with the 9th. We do have special holiday racing tomorrow, and it's Dollar Day. $1 beers, $1 sodas, and $2 hot dogs tomorrow. And every Saturday and Sunday, we offer the Coast to Coast Pick 5. It gets started in just about a half an hour. Beginning with Gulfstream's 8th, closing out with Santa Anita's 7th, 15% takeout, $1 minimum. Another very solid payoff considering the prices yesterday. Get involved in the $1 Coast to Coast Pick 5.